everyone. Again, I'm here. My name is Coach Charlene, and we'll be talking about another tip for using the English language. Before that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page for updates and other grammar tips that can help us pass both the IELTS and the OET. Now, I just finished my coaching session for today, and one of the most common mistakes that I've noticed during some of my sessions or some of the performances of my students for today would be the mistake when it comes to describing words. And primarily, one of the most useful parts of the speech that can help us when it comes to strengthening our vocabulary for descriptions would be the use of adjectives. So, what are adjectives and how are these used? So, adjectives describe nouns in sentences that we are trying to say or to express. And the moment that we use adjectives together with our subjects, it adds color to the ideas that we want to present. So, for example, if you want to use the word beautiful, smart, large, small, thin, these are examples of adjectives that we use on a day-to-day basis. And if you are preparing for the IELTS exam, it's a must that you're familiar when it comes to how you add adjectives in your sentences. Aside from knowing how and when to use adjectives in our sentences, we need to also be familiarized with how to use adjectives when it comes to presenting comparisons. So, adjectives generally have 3 levels of comparison. So, these are called as degrees of comparisons for adjectives. So, we have the positive, comparative, and superlative. And this will be very useful in terms of knowing how to express, of course, literally comparisons or the similarities or differences between 2 or more objects. And the usage of adjectives based on how to describe or compare these objects will vary depending on how many objects are we talking about. Okay, so when we are using positive degrees of comparisons, we are not comparing the object or the person to anything else or anyone else in the statement. So we are just talking about one person or one subject, and we are just using the adjective to describe what the person looks like or what the person's characteristic is all about. So for instance, if you're saying that she is beautiful, definitely you are just describing that person. Now, if we move on to using comparative forms of adjectives or the comparative degree, this time we are trying to compare 2 objects or 2 people at the same time, presenting who is more beautiful than the other, perhaps. So, for example, you say that Maria is more beautiful than Fe. So, having those 2 people in that statement presents an attachment of more, okay, in terms of presenting that there are 2 objects or 2 people that are being compared in that statement. Now, if we move up further to comparing 1 versus more people or more objects, so literally you are comparing more than 2 subjects in the statement, most likely you will be moving on to using the superlative degree of comparison. So this is the time that we say that she is the most beautiful among all of the women in this room. So there is a comparison that is based on how beautiful, or saying that this one person is the most beautiful, comparing her to other more beautiful or other women rather in the entire room. So there may be no evidence of how many women are we talking about, but the sentence is already clearly stating that there are more than 2 people that are being compared. So we usually form comparative degrees of adjectives for adjectives that contain 1 to 2 syllables, and that's the time that we place an ER at the end of the word. So for example, if you have the adjective happy, that's in the positive, and we want to make it into its comparative degree, all you have to do is to change Y and add IER to form happier. If you want to create its superlative form, all you have to do is to change happier to happiest by adding, your IEST at the end of the word happy. So you have the group happy, happier, and happiest. Now, talking about the common mistake for the usage of adjectives like doubling up. It usually happens when you already have an ER for a word that you're trying to say in its comparative degree, plus attaching still more before it. So some examples of common combinations for this, which are really mistakes when it comes to using this degree of comparison, would be announcing it as more cheaper, more happier, right, more healthier, which is entirely wrong. So these are examples of words that should not be used. What if your examiner asks you about, do you like to cook or do you like to eat out? So by having the question, do you like to cook or do you just like to eat out, you may present comparisons as part of how you can support your main answer. So for example, what if you tell your examiner, I prefer to cook my own food because it is more healthier. So by having the phrase more healthier is automatically an incorrectly used set of words, because there's already a double placement for your doubling up. Literally, there are double usages of your degrees of comparison by having more together with ER for the word healthier. So as to revise that error, we can deliver it as, I prefer to cook my own food because it's healthier. So you drop the more and you stick with the correct usage or the correct form of healthy for its comparative degree, which is healthier. Another example is that if you will still be answering the same question, do you like to cook or eat out? What if you will be delivering it as, I like to cook my own food because it's more cheaper to buy the ingredients, okay, that you will be using to cook a meal. Now, when you say it's more cheaper, it's still a mistake when it comes to how you deliver the comparative degree, because you already have cheaper in which is the comparative degree of cheap. And if you will still be using more together with cheaper, that's again creating the double up effect. So what should be done is to correct this by dropping more and sticking with cheaper. Now, a lot of students are really unaware or subconsciously doing this type of mistake. And the only way on how you can definitely correct this is by being familiar with the way of how you use your adjectives. So most likely practice, of course, is the number one key in order to ensure that you are aware of how you are saying your words, how you're using your adjectives. So it really helps when it comes to listening to how you're delivering your phrases or your sentences. Alright, so that's about it for today's third video upload on my YouTube channel. Again, that's Coach Charlene English. That's on YouTube. For more tips, more content, for your requests, kindly directly message me through my Facebook page. I have a private coaching page. My name on Facebook is Coach Charlene English. Kindly follow that and subscribe, of course. And if you want to get to know more about the IELTS, the International English Language Testing System, and as well as the OET, the Occupational English Test, don't forget to follow me through my Facebook page. Again, that's Coach Charlene English. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video, and watch out for more tips. I'll be really trying my best to upload more content as frequently as I can. Okay, and that's it for today. Until next time.